Okay, so we're using our Manual of Acupuncture, Peter Dedman and Mazin Al-Kajif and Kevin Kevin Baker. Man. Kevin Bacon game. Apparently we can connect Kevin Baker to Kevin Bacon in 6 steps of people. So we're doing the remainder of Stomach Meridian today, stomach 31 through stomach 45. And so if we're doing the points that go to the end of a limb, that means we're going to be covering our shoe points, our antique points. And so you'll see those starting at stomach 36 and finishing at the Jingwell stomach 45. An interesting thing to note on the stomach meridian is that the she cleft point falls above the knee. Usually she cleft falls between the knee and the ankle or the elbow and the wrist, but this is an exception to that. Stomach 31. In your Manual of Acupuncture, it says on the upper thigh, in a depression just lateral to the sartorius muscle, at the junction of a vertical line drawn downward from the anterior superior iliac spine and horizontal line drawn level with the lower border of the pubic symphysis. So here's where we are going to ask our body model or our patient to locate their pubic symphysis, which is the pubic bone. Okay, so she's locating it right here. We can also use the greater trochanter, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can bend their knee, and then we're going to be locating a point up under the shorts here. I'm going to palpate for the greater trochanter, which is kind of a protruding part of the femur bone at the superior end. And then once I locate that, the high point of that, I can keep my finger there and go ahead and locate your pubic symphysis again. And notice that they are in line with each other. Okay, so the pubic symphysis lines up with the greater trochanter. So you can use either of those as your horizontal measure. Your vertical measure is coming from the ASIS, which is the hip bone. This part here. It's the most protruding part of the hips on the anterior side. Below the navel is here. Pubic symphysis is here. Okay, just to give you a reference. This is called ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. So I'm drawing a line straight down from that and a line across from this, and where those intersect, there's a depression. Okay, so here's my greater trochanter, here's ASIS. I'm drawing a vertical line straight down. I'm drawing a horizontal line here, and where they meet, there's a notable depression. This is stomach 31. Remember, stomach 30 is level with the pubic symphysis just above it on the abdomen, and 2 cm lateral to the midline. So here's 31. So ASIS is my vertical line, greater trochanter is my horizontal line, and there's a depression right here. It's a notable depression in everyone. Okay? I'm writing on you. Stomach 31. Okay, stomach 32, on the thigh, on a line drawn between the lateral border of the patella and the anterior superior iliac spine, in a depression 6 cm proximal to the superior border of the patella. I'm going to need my cunometer. The stomach 32 is 6 cm superior to the patella, on a line drawn from the ASIS to the lateral border of the patella, and we're going to measure from the greater trochanter here to the upper border of the patella, and that distance from here to here is 17 cm. So I need the side with the smaller numbers because that goes up to 20. So I'm going to put my 0 at the superior border of the patella, and I'm going to put my cunometer on the lateral side, and I'm going to find 17 cm right here. I'm going to stretch it to this distance, but I'm going to line it up with my ASIS. Okay, and then I find my 6 cm mark right here, and there is a little bit of a depression I can feel there. Stomach 33, on the thigh, on a line drawn between the lateral border of the patella and the anterior superior iliac spine, and depression 3 cm proximal to the superior border of the patella. Now when you're doing point location in class, something that makes this very easy is we already know that this is our line and that this is 6 cm superior. So for point location, you find the lateral border. This is 6 cm. I can do two things here. I want 3 cm above, right? 3 cm superior to the patella. So I can either measure from the superior border of the patella to here and cut that in half and make sure I'm on that line. Or if I want to be really certain, I find the superior border of the patella, put my 0 there, take my 6 cm line, stretch it to here, and find my 3 right here. 33. Stomach 33. Stomach 34 is on the thigh on a line drawn between the lateral border of the patella and the anterior superior iliac spine and depression 2 cm proximal to the superior border of the patella. If we want to make this really simple in class, we put our 0 at the superior border of the patella, our 6, and stretch that to the 32, and then we just go 2 cm up. That's one way. 34. That's the chic left point. Now, how would we really do this in practice? So for stomach 34, I would say we would measure the patella. So let's look at something with the patella. I'm going to zoom in a little. So the patella is 2 cm, and also the width of my thumbs, right, on my body is 2 cm. So look at the size of that. And then you can kind of look at this and see the patella is not that large, right? So I find that people make a mistake when they're measuring the patella, and that is that they grab all this tissue with it. That's not bone, that's tissue. We're saying the patella bone. It's very small, right? If I find the superior border and I want to mark that, I'm going to put that right here, and the inferior border here. You can see that's 2 cm, but what people do is they grab it all this, and then they try to measure using that. So what I'm saying is you've really got to palpate for the bone. Okay, and then if I want to find 2 cm above the patella is 2 cm vertically, then I'm going to take that measurement and just take it straight up, and then go across to where I want to be. So that's stomach 34, 2 cm. Now in practice, how would I find stomach 33? I would do this measurement and come across, and then I would take half that again. That's how I would do it in practice. Okay, we just completed stomach 34. We looked at measuring the patella. Now we're going to do stomach 35. Okay, we're locating stomach 35. You don't use your stenometer for this one. You will use bony landmarks and tissue landmarks. So the patella is actually enveloped in the tendinous tissue coming from the 4 quadriceps muscles from up on the thigh, which envelop the patella and then come down is a very dense ligament called the patella ligament. Some books call it the patellar tendon and ligament because it's in a continuation from the muscle. And it inserts here, right? So there's a tendon that you can palpate, okay? And if you're not sure if it's a tendon, all you got to do is come lateral and find a very squishy spot, or medial and find the same kind of spot over here. So I can feel what we call the eyes of the knee here and here, here and here. Eyes of the knee here, medial eye, lateral eye. So there's actually an extra point called Shion, and it will say medial Shion, lateral Shion. So even though this is stomach 35 on the stomach channel, it's considered an extra point when used in conjunction with the other side. You'll learn that in 3rd semester. Okay, so I just find this soft spot lateral to that patellar ligament, inferior to the patella, and above the tibia and fibula. Okay, so here. All right, stomach 36 is a shoe point. It's the Hussey point of the stomach meridian, and earth point, yang channel. So we use stomach 35 as our landmark to measure from, and we're going to go 3 cm. In this semester, ideally you use your cunometer. It's from the lower border of the patella or the fold of the knee here to the lateral malleolus is 16 cm. So I'm going to put my 0 here, Take my 16 and stretch it down to the part of the lateral malleolus that sticks out the most. And I see my 3 sun is here. But I want to find the bone of the tibia. This is very important. This is a common mistake to actually locate it way out here. This is just for finding the distance vertically. So I'm going to find the bone, the crest of the tibia, the blade. That's the part where you can feel the bone all the way down. So from here, I want 1 finger breadth, which we're using index finger. So you're only going to be this far away. Stomach 37 is 3 sun more. 3 sun from 36 or 6 sun from 35. So I can come back up here and put my 0, find my 16 and stretch it again. Alright, so just to review really quickly. 35 is the eye of the knee. We find the distance from the lower border of the patella to the lateral malleolus, the high point, the part that sticks out the most, is 16 sun. So we locate stomach 36, 3 sun down, 37 is 6 sun, and 38 is 8 sun. And they're all 1 finger breadth lateral to the crest of the tibia. So we use our index finger and we find the crest of the tibia and we place our finger next to it, and that's our 1 finger breadth. It's not 1 sun, it's a finger breadth, which is smaller. Now stomach 39, so this is 38, it's halfway. So stomach 39 is 1 sun inferior to stomach 38. So I can use my measurement here, 16. So I go 1 sun down here and 1 finger breadth. There's 39. And then interestingly enough, 40 zigzags back up. It's at the same level as 38, but it's 2 finger breadths. So I'm going to have to put a dot there in the middle of my 38. So this dot that I circled is stomach 40. Stomach 41 is on the foot at the ankle, level with the high point of the malleolus. We come across, and we're going to go in between 2 sets of tendons, tendon extensor hallucis longus and digitorum longus. So there's a tendon that goes to the big toe, and then there's a tendon that comes through here and then splits and goes to all 4 toes. And that means that we can lift the big toe separately, and then all the other 4 toes will lift together. You can't separately lift a toe. There is a muscle that abducts the pinky, so it will come out and look like it comes kind of up. And so some people will say they can lift their pinky, but they're doing that with a separate muscle. So can you lift your big toe? Just the big toe? Okay. And then can you lift just the 4 toes? Okay. And then can you lift any of these toes separately? Nope. And do you feel like you can take your pinky toe out? Kinda. More like down. You're more like flexing it. That happens too. So one of the ways we find it is we can say, please raise your toes. And the tendons will come up here. Okay, actually I'm going to have you straighten your leg out here. So go ahead and raise your toes. Okay, you can see the tendons come up here. And we're palpating, right? Here's the tendon for the 4 small toes, and then the tendon for the big toe. Okay, relax. And when she relaxes, I can feel a distinct space between those. There's a big gap here that's soft, but I can feel the tendons themselves. So I'm going to put my dot right there. That's stomach 41. Okay, stomach 42 is one that we locate by palpation. We find it about 1.5 sun in distally. We'd say distal here on the foot. Distal to stomach 41. And I can go, okay, well I'm going to find 2 sun, and I can come back up a little bit. And I can palpate here. There's a little depression. And there's also a pulse that you can feel. Now if you remember from Yuan source point, if you remember from our point categories, we say Yuan source points are near a palpable pulse, and this is the Yuan source point of the stomach channel, stomach 42, and I can feel a pulse here. and there's a depression. Okay, stomach 42. Stomach 44, I know we haven't done 43 yet. We're going to find 44 first, and 44 is between the second and third toes, and it's half a sun up from the webbing. Okay, so we can see the webbing right here, not the webbing in between, but where the webbing starts here, we go half a sun. So if I use my thumb, I can kind of estimate half a sun here. So that's 44. 43 is 1 sun proximal to that, so I can use my thumb. I want to make sure I'm between the bones. And 45, of course, is the Jingwell. Can't really write 45 there, but you know that is it. So let's take a look at our point categories for this section. So stomach 31, 32, and 33 on the thigh, no point category. Stomach 34 is a she-clef point. Stomach 36 is the Hasi and earth point. It's a Galu command point, Ma Dan Yang heavenly star point, and point of the sea of water and grain. It is the earth point on the earth meridian, and that makes it the horary point. Stomach 37 is the lower Hasi point of the large intestine, and it's a point of the sea of blood, which means it helps the body make blood, and part of that is the ability to digest food and make it into blood supporting nutrients. Stomach 39 is the lower Hasi point of the small intestine and a point of the sea of blood. Stomach 40 is a luo connecting point of the stomach channel. Stomach 41 is the Jing River and fire point. And fire in the 5-element generating cycle is the mother of earth, so this is the mother channel, or the mother point. Stomach 42 is the Yuan source point. Stomach 43, the shoestream and wood point. Stomach 44 is the Ying spring and water point, and the Ma Dan Yang heavenly star point on stomach meridian. And stomach 45 is a Jingwell and metal point. And in the 5-element generating cycle, metal follows earth, making this the child of the sun.